Oh no. WF Co Limited. It's going to take a while. I'll come back to you. That's a bit nosy. Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest video. And I'm going to be working on this console table or side table. This is for a customer, and unfortunately a father has recently passed away, and she contacted me and asked me if I could restore or refinish some pieces of furniture that are meaningful to her. I've got this one to do, which is hopefully going to be quite straightforward. I wasn't actually going to video this because I didn't think how interesting it would be for you, but I thought I might as well. She wants to keep these. They have got some sentimental value. This one, her father actually put together himself. She believes he made it out of an old sewing machine table. It seems a little bit wide for the base to be a sewing machine table, but he's obviously made the top, used the base, and made this lovely table out of it. She wants it in a different style and a different finish, so that's what we're going to do today. Like I say, there's another video coming up soon, so make sure you click subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss out on those. And we'll just crack on with this, but as always, sit back, relax and enjoy. And thanks for watching. The first thing to know is this is really heavy. It's not a massive piece of furniture, but I'll show you the base in a second. It is solid cast iron, so it is a heavy piece. The top, I think at the moment, it's solid oak. I'll have a look underneath it just to make sure, but I think it's solid oak planks that have been bonded together. It's not in terrible condition. There's quite a few scratches on it, a few stains. I think from feeling it, it may have been finished in wax, but we'll soon find out. The edge has got this lovely round over on it with a sort of, it flares out there as well, so that's really nice. We'll try and retain that detail as much as we can, but it has got some chips to the wood there which need sorting out. This is the underside of the piece. I've tipped it over, nearly given myself a hernia, but it's over now, and it looks like these edges are separate pieces, so it's not completely that thick all the way across. These are thinner boards, but again, lovely oak. Some tigering on there. This is the lovely cast iron base. She doesn't really want anything doing to this. It's not in terrible condition. She doesn't want it a different finish or anything like that. So I'll have a proper look at the base as we go. But she says she doesn't really want anything doing to the base. But we'll see. We'll see if we can just tidy it up. But it's such a beautiful thing, this. It's really nice. Very ornate. A lot of work's gone into that, whoever made that. There is some writing on it there, but I'll try and make that out. That's a bit nosy. What? You've put your snotty nose on it, dirtbag. I'm just trying to read what the name says, and it says Edwards something, but obviously Daisy came to help out. I can't read the second name. There is another stamp on the base, and it's a bit clearer there, but it says WF Company Limited, and there's a W underneath it as well, and it's stamped with a number, which is number 165. So I'll try and do a bit of digging and find out where this base is from. Okay, so this might be quite a straightforward job, although I have said that hundreds of times before and it never pans out that way. But there's not a lot to this. There's obviously some refinishing of this, probably some small repairs. The base is a bit loose in places, so I'll just need to have a look at that and tighten up the nuts and bolts on that. Make sure the condition of it is acceptable to go out of the door, and yeah, we'll see if we can transform this small piece of furniture and make my customer happy. But we'll crack on. Go on out of the way. Pretty sure there's wax on this, even though it might have worn away over time, but rather than just going in with the sander, I'll give it a wipe over with some white mineral spirit. That's not white mineral spirit, it's called white spirit in the UK, mineral spirits. in other places. Yeah, I think it's definitely got wax. Because this is oak and it's got quite an open grain, the likelihood is when this was waxed, the wax will have gone into the grain. So wiping it with a flat cloth doesn't always work. So I'm going to try and get as much of this wax out as I can. And just, not too hard, just give it a little brush. Okay, got the bulk of it off now, the white spirit, and hopefully as much of the wax off as I can. This is going to take quite a little while to fully dry out now because I've used quite a lot of white spirit, but we'll leave that to dry. We'll come back shortly and carry on. I'm going to, while it's doing that, I'm going to take it off the base so I can have a proper look at the base. Let's do this without trying to... So heavy. Okay. This base is attached to obviously this side, and it's quite stable, that. But I did notice that this one is quite loose, so I just need to have a look at that. Oh, that's not good. Oh no. The bolt has rusted through and broken off. Hopefully this one I think I've managed to save. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. This is the only thing with cast iron, it rusts. Right, I'm going to have a think about what I'm going to do with this. There's no way that's coming out, that's just broken. I don't know whether these are welded in or they're just bolts that are half in there, half out. But that's not coming out, so I'm going to have to smooth that off and do something. I need to grind this down, but I have got an angle grinder, but I haven't got any grinding discs. I don't generally work on metal that often. So rather than ordering one of those up and delaying, I have got these diamond bit burrs for the Dremel. So I'll just see if these will do the job. Make do and mend. Okay, not the fastest tool in the world, but it did the job. I'm going to attempt to put another bolt in this. I'll have to move it slightly further up because I don't want that one to come out and I need a bit more depth, so I'm going to have to put it there. Hopefully this works. It's going to take a while, I'll come back to you. Right, finally managed to get the first hole in. Just need to make a bigger one now. Okay. Right, I just need to try and put a thread into this now. Try and get it as straight as I can. Good stuff. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've ever threaded a piece of metal before in my life. Not just on video, just ever. So yeah, pleased with that. I've not damaged it. I've given it something to grip onto now. So yeah, brilliant. And that little set was only from the local supermarket, Lidl. I think it cost me about £7 or something like that, and that's saved me a lot of time and heartache. Happy with that? That'll teach me to be pleased with myself. I forgot I've moved the bolt over because I didn't want to drill into the existing bolt. So it's no problem, but obviously there's no hole there now, so I'm gonna have to drill a hole all the way through this. But I've already done one, so I won't show you that again. That'll teach me. That's the new hole. I've just drilled it slightly wider than the bolt to give me a bit of adjustment. Hey, hey! Job done. Ready, steady, go! Good catch, Daisy. Good catch. Uh-oh. You dropped it. Right. Okay, one last go. Good girl. Right, you play with that, leave me alone. When I was doing that base, because it was loose, I noticed as well that there's other things. So this section here seems to be quite loose. And these bolts are loose. I'm guessing the bolts under here are loose as well, because that's slightly moving as well, so hopefully it's just a case of tightening those up. But let's tighten these up. I don't want to over tighten these because I really don't want to break any bolts. Right, they're fine. What he's doing now. Again, I don't want to over tighten these because these are old bolts and I don't want to create work for myself. Yeah, they're nice and tight now. Like I mentioned, the base is in reasonable condition and she's not really bothered about having anything done with the base. So I'm going to give it a clean first, see how it looks. Whether I need to give it a new coat of paint, I don't know yet. There is a couple of marks on it, but hopefully they're just on the surface and I can clean those off. But we'll clean it first and see where we are. probably hear Daisy there barking at the door. Must have a delivery. Right, that's all cleaned, rinsed. Obviously I'm going to have to leave that to completely dry now. I'll leave it out here till it's completely dry and have a look at that. It does look really nice when it's wet. It looks a lot darker, a lot deeper. We'll see what it looks like when it's dry and then I'll go from there. Right, while that's drying, the base, I'm just going to tidy this bottom up a little bit. You can see there's quite a lot of overspray. Not too bothered about that, but I'm going to get this edge off. I'll try and clean this up a bit as well, just to make it look a bit tidier. This edge, this little lip there, it's not too bad there, and I could probably tidy that up with some sanding, but it gets worse as it goes along, and it's right up into the tabletop here, and it's the same on the other side. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's such a very small lip, it's prone to catching and chipping. So I think what I'm going to do, just to try and stop this, I'm going to round that over as much as I can, just to try and smooth that there to stop it chipping and to make it look a lot neater. It'll get rid of this little detail, but this little detail at the moment, it just looks terrible. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I've got a similar problem on this edge. It's a very, very sharp edge. Almost cut you. And it's just chipping. It's just chipping away and splintering because it's such a narrow edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and blunt that off a little bit and just keep its shape, but just try and even it out. You can see there, you can see the different colours. So when I'm smoothing this over, I'm looking at the colours to try and keep the lines as straight as I can. But I think when a dad's used a router on this, or router, whatever you want to call it, it might have sunk a little bit deeper there because it's a bit, this line's a little bit wavy. You won't be able to tell once it's all finished, but that's why that line looks a bit odd. But yeah, we'll tidy this edge up and do the same all around now. Right, all I'm doing is there's quite a lot of dints in the wood, so I'm just going over, there's another one there, and I'm just marking them. And what I'm going to try and do now is raise these up with a bit of steam. Right, I'll just go around the rest of it and do this. Okay, so I've done all the little dints and everything now. Mixed results, some are better than others, some are still, well, quite obvious, others are a lot better. Next step is I want to give this a coat of oxalic acid. I want to raise the grain anyway, so I was going to have to put wipe it over with water and then let it dry for the next coat of sanding, but there's a couple of stains on it, so I want to do that with oxalic acid, so that's what we'll do next. Okay, this is the oxalic acid I use. This is Gilding's oxalic acid granules, and if you want to try this, I'll leave a link in the description. I've got a discount with Gilding's if you fancy some. I need to find a better brush, that's rubbish. Right, I found one. Okay, just leave that to do its thing. I got a bit excited before when I did this this repair, and I forgot to put some paint over this bare metal underneath, so I need to take this off and do that now. I don't want to spray this on because I don't want it going all over everything else. I just want to be doing touch-ups really. Okay, let that dry. Like that. This paint's actually a good match, so I was going to just sort of hand touch them in, but if I just do a light dusting just to cover up some of these worn out bits, it should look a lot better. It looks really glossy when it's wet, obviously, but it will dry a lot duller than this. Right, the oxalic's had time to do its thing, so I just need to rinse all this off now. Leave that to dry. Whew. Right, just to recap now, this has had as much of the wax removes as possible with white spirit. That's been left to dry. It's then been sanded with 120 grit. It's then had the dints as much as I can steamed out of them. It's then had oxalic acid. It's then been rinsed. It's been dried again, and then it's been sanded over again. Now I didn't show it, but with 120 grit. So I'm just going to find, there's a couple of little dints that might need a bit of filler, and then I'm going to sand at 240 grit, clean all the dust off, and then we're ready for the finish. Well, the colouring and then the finish. So a little piece of wood still takes a long time to work on. Right, I've mixed far too much there, but never mind. I'll probably find some more when I turn the camera off. So I'm going to do anything with 240 grit now. You can see how orange this oak goes, and the reason I've done these so light is because the customer doesn't want this colour. She wants it to retain a very, very light wood grain feel, light oak feel. So I'm only doing this just to get rid of all the last bits of the dust, but this is what it'd look like if I just put a clear coat on. That's not what we're after. Right, the next step, because like I say, the customer doesn't want the orangey oak colour. She wants a very light oak, almost like a sun bleached oak. So we're going to do like a paint wash, so the grain will still show through, but what it'll do is it'll retain that lightness in the wood. I haven't got a tan coloured paint, so I'm going to have to mix some paint together and then make the wash out of that. So I'll show you the paint that I've got. Right, so this is the paint that I've got that I'm going to mix a colour to try and get a tan colour and then make the paint wash. So this is called Farrow's Cream, and it's a colour by Farrow and Ball, and this the name of this is called Salon Drab, and this is again another colour by Farrow and Ball. This is like when it dries, it's like a milk chocolatey colour, and that's just a very light cream, almost like an off-white. So I'm going to try and make the base colour with these two, and then we can go from there. Not sure that's tan. Right, let me know in the comments, is brown and cream going to make a tan colour? Because that's gone a bit... I mean, it's okay, it's a light colour wash. Let's try it a bit more brown. Right, I'm going to have a little think here. Because it's just a wash, I just want it to keep the wood light, so this might be okay. But, right, let me come back to you. Right, I finally got to where I want to be. I think what I did originally, I put too much of the brown in there, and it must have some sort of green pigment in that brown, because it was pulling through the green. It was looking like a greeny grey. So these are the two I did, and then I've just put a tiny little drop of the brown in, just to get a sort of lighter sort of tan colour. So I'm happy with that. Don't need a lot of the paint, so clear this up and then we'll get started. That's what I was after, more like a limed oak finish. While the top's fully drying, I'm going to start doing some more work on this base. I've spoken to the customer, and what I've explained to her is there's some beautiful details on this cast iron, and they look nice as they are, but they sort of blend away a little bit because everything's black. So I said that I've done this on a couple of other pieces, and I've highlighted some of the nicer details on a piece with some gilding wax, and would she like me to do the same on this? And I sent her a couple of examples of the work I've done, and she said yes, she'd love me to do it. So that's what we're going to do next. There's so many lovely details on this, I could really go to town and pick out every detail, but I don't want it to look too much. So what I think I'll do is this centre part there, and just sort of do it that way. Okay, so back to the top. This is completely dry now. So all that paint wash has sort of soaked in very slightly into the wood. It has raised the grain a little bit, which I'm surprised at, but it has. I don't want to go at this with sandpaper again because obviously I don't want to take any of the colour wash out, so I'm just going to use some very fine steel wool just to take the rough parts off. Right, time for top coat, and I'm going to be using my favourite Gilboys hard wax oil. This is such a good product, and if you want to try any of the Gilboys products, I'll leave a link in the description of this video and you'll get a discount if you use that link. So we'll get on with this. Right, the first coat is completely dry, and sometimes with this product you only need one coat, but because this is quite an open grain, I can see in a few places where it's soaked in more than others, so you probably won't be able to see this, but if I look at it sort of in a certain light, I can see more dull patches in places, so I'm going to give it another coat. But before I do that, I'm just going to use a bit of brown paper just to get the dust nibs off. That's pretty much it for this video, just a few finishing touches, just putting some beeswax polish on the bottom, and then it's just time to reassemble. So I'd like to say a big thank you for watching if you've lasted this long, and as always, thanks for those that support my channel with the buy me a coffee and the super thanks links. I really appreciate it. If you like what you've seen, please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.